ready?
Yes.
Welcome back to the Old Colony Cast, a podcast about all things Plymouth and surrounding areas. I am one of your hosts, Andy. That's going to be worse. And joined today by our other host, Hanna.
Hello.
And our noisy editor, Fish.
Noisy noise editor. Which is...
Are you going to,
that's an
ASMR?
official...
Only that part, because I really don't like ASMR.
Huh?
I know, me too. That's the noisy noise, though. It's a type of noise that you have to be the editor of.
Oh, yeah, he only edits the noisy noise. Yeah. So the noisy noise outside.
Yes.
Yeah.
At the sound factory.
That's the one thing. I don't know, because we chop it out every time.
They're looking at getting the window replaced.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, listeners, hopefully you haven't noticed, but in the background, sometimes you will hear the sound of
Blanking.
what honestly sounds like a Blue Man Group rehearsal outside.
Yeah, kind of.
Our studio is next to what we call the Noise Factory, and I cut out what I can, but sometimes we're talking and I miss stuff.
It definitely is louder here than it is on the recording.
Oh, yes.
Because when I do them by Zoom, people are like, I can't hear anything. And I'm like, I can barely hear you. So
yeah.
Perfect example. Thank you, guys. Shout out to the Noise Factory.
I could not be, more, serious when I say how comical the noises are that come from...
And it's like they're doing it on purpose.
It's it sounds...
doing nothing.
Yeah.
I stand by my Blue Man Group rehearsal, okay?
It is just moving crap around from one side to another with the noisiest machines you could.
Yeah.
And literally just running saws every once in a while.
Yeah. And it's almost like, there's a day where they're like, hey, that's not loud enough. Hit it with a sledgehammer.
Yeah. It's very funny.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So, I don't think I have any recaps. Do you have any recaps, Fish?
I don't have any recaps. I don't believe I have any follow-up. Hanna, do you have any recap and or follow-up?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I liked it.
Yeah.
I just tried to go through my head recently.
Oh, I did watch the kayak slaloming you were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. It's...
Of course you do.
Wait, are you watching the singles or the group?
I couldn't
even
tell you. It's just, I'm like, I don't know what they're doing.
There's one where they have 4 people, they drop them into the river together, and they have to race down and slalom against each other.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's kind of dangerous. And the disqualification rules are, you can hit the other person's boat, you can't hit the other person.
Interesting. That sounds like a reasonable.
So the first one I watched, one of the kayakers was disqualified because the prow of her boat clocked the other kayaker in the jaw.
Yeah.
They all finished. But it was just one of those things where of course, it's the Olympics, so it is in, close up, in slow motion, just into the jaw. Her jaw just kind of clips sideways.
Yeah.
Yep. And
okay.
But as it turns out, watching people kayak slalom is surprisingly fun on my end.
I couldn't understand what was going on, and I really wasn't.
I mean,
taking the time to learn.
It helped that I was at the very beginning they explained
I was talking about
what the rules were.
The gentleman on the pommel horse, whose name I don't remember, Steve, to someone the other day, and they're like, "Oh, so he was a Paralympic?" I'm like, "No, he just can't see, and he's a regular Olympic dude." Which probably makes some dude in the Paralympics real pissed.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
But
that's not what we're talking about.
That's not what we're talking about today, because we're talking about...
Good question.
I just hoping one of us has an answer.
Hanna, what are we talking about today?
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. We're going to talk about something on the list.
No. Cut the mics. That can't happen.
On purpose?
Turn up the Noise Factory.
Wait. Is this on purpose, or is this you came up with it and then realized it was on the list later?
No, it was on purpose. I looked at the list. Said, what can I talk about?
Wow, he was desperate.
That's weird.
Something.
I know.
I needed something. So I saw it because I was like, well, that sounds interesting.
Good. That is kind of why we have the list.
And now one of us is going to be like, oh, this sounds vaguely familiar. Did I put it on the list?
Yeah. It just says Robot Mayflower.
Oh, I do remember this.
I think that was me.
I was gonna say, I feel like it could have been either one of us.
Yeah. I think we sourced it from the same place.
Probably.
Yeah.
Where did you source it from?
God, this was so long. That's been on the list.
For a long
What
time.
was it, number 3 on the list or something?
No,
I think it's on page 2.
It was pretty.
I think it was a very old episode of No Such Thing as a Fish.
Ooh, maybe.
Like, that feels like that's where I heard about it.
So, an episode we did?
No. An episode of another podcast that
No Such Thing as a Fish.
Andy and I both listened to.
I was literally like, we did an episode named
No.
that?
Oh, that's funny.
So yeah, it is early on the list. When we think of consider the first page of our list was collectively ideas that I think we pretty much threw at it in one sitting.
Yeah.
As we were all sitting there.
So I was like, oh, that would be good. That would be good.
I think that was like when we're eating wings.
We got like a lot at once, and then second page was kind of whatever. So this is so old that I couldn't even find a current thing about it in the last year.
I was gonna say when it went on the list, it was current.
Yes.
Yeah.
No longer.
No.
I found. I thought, I'm a little late to this one, and late.
I'm curious because I don't I vaguely remember what it's about, but I'm like, I don't ever remember hearing about it again.
Yep.
That
was a tough one.
I don't mean to be a spoiler, but
that's a concern. Okay.
So, come to find out, yes, it is a robot, but not what I thought when I heard that title, because it's nicknamed Maths for Mayflower Autonomous Ship.
Yeah, it was like
the Mayflower 400. So there's like 2 real names. Robot Mayflower was the name we had for it on the list. So I was like, I don't think that's actually what people
I'm pretty
call
sure that's what everyone calls it.
So, it is the word I didn't realize, like, when I first read about it. First off, I pictured a robotic-looking 3-mast
Were you expecting like the Mayflower 2 got an Autobot?
Yeah, but maybe smaller.
Okay.
I vaguely remember is it looking like a rowboat with a solid top?
Kind of. Not really, but kind of.
Yeah.
And then, what was I going to say about it? So Mayflower 400 is its name. It was kind of supposed to have happened around the 400th anniversary.
That's probably why there was never like a big, hey, it's landed, because we were all a little busy.
Yeah.
Or not busy at all, really.
Kind of. But also not really.
Okay.
At all.
Oh.
It was delayed. So that's why we didn't see a 400th anniversary. Or part of it. The idea of this ship. So first off, there is a name of a boat that it is after.
Is it like a catamaran kind of thing?
Trimaran.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's like a catamaran.
Think like
+1.
Yeah, like
it actually reminded me of a
main
Star
hull
Wars
in the middle,
ship.
and then like 2 little side cats on the side.
Yes.
Because catamarans don't have like
really
a middle
hard
hull.
in my head to come up with a Pilgrim Roomba pun. That's all I'm doing right
It's
now.
just
if I
not-
seem like I'm not paying attention.
It's not just like Pilgrimba.
Pilgrimba. Oh, see, damn it, that's good. All right.
All right.
I can go back to listing.
We get Andy back.
Continue.
So big beat of this is that it's autonomous.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was imagining something we'd be driving remotely when I saw it on the list. Very much not the case.
Nope. Just go
That
that
was
way.
like remote control.
Yeah.
Okay.
And not like
almost like a drone of the sea.
Like a battle block
Yeah.
of the
Except
sea.
it's big.
of the sea.
So yeah.
I would watch BattleBots of the Sea so fast.
BattleBots.
Bots of the ocean.
Yeah. Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah. Listeners, we had a brief crash. So the last thing you heard was me saying,
Our
I would
battle bots
watch-
of the ocean had a crash.
yeah. It turns out the world was not ready
for that concept.
and cut me off and took out my recording software. So we are picking back up where we left off at BattleBots of the Sea.
But it's not a BattleBot of the sea.
No.
It's an autonomous ship, and I thought it was more of a
Like
Remote control.
Remote controlled.
Not the case at all. And the idea of this was to help with research of the ocean, because right now what they do for research vessels, if you've seen one, they're pretty large and in charge.
Yeah, they're big boats full of people and equipment.
Of people, yes, and equipment.
And like a submersible.
Yes. So the idea is to lower cost by investing in these vehicles that can reach further areas of, like, there's areas of the ocean like in modern times we've never been to. So the intent is to research more of the ocean, specifically climate change issues, and testing some microplastic contamination in different areas of the ocean, among many other things. It uses wind and solar power, although it does have backup, like battery energy or engine-ish energy. Engine-ish.
The little engine-ish that could kind of sort of could.
Yeah. And it was so inspired to do these things, but also the creation of it was sort of really taken from like the Mayflower, right? It's named the Mayflower, but its first voyage was going to be from Plymouth
To Plymouth.
to Plymouth.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Which I think is how it kind of first popped on our radar.
yes. And of course, like,
Because we're like,
called the
Plymouth, that's us.
the Mayflower.
Hey!
Another Mayflower.
Yeah.
the third, at least.
It's a a little over $1 million. I think it was like $1.4 million.
Which for that kind of thing is pretty cheap.
I guess, right?
I mean, for a
For a boat that's gonna-
self-propelled automated vehicle, that's fine.
Let me put my other notes down.
Like, I don't know what the going rate on autonomous vehicles are, but
I mean, there are non-autonomous boats that cost well over $1 million.
yep.
That's true. So it was assembled. Everything was shipped to that area, and it was assembled there. I saw a time lapse of it being assembled. September 16th was the target sale date during COVID. It did not go until June 15th of the following year, 2021, I believe. But there was a malfunction, and so it couldn't.
It caught COVID.
It got COVID. No, so they couldn't go. It actually had a secondary ship going with it for extra stuff, and that secondary ship took on water. It was called the Speedwell. So they ended up. No, I'm joking.
I'm like, wait a second. That's ridiculous.
No, they ended up
You
going
almost had me.
without that secondary ship.
Okay.
Haven't we learned not to trust Hanna?
Almost had me.
So it had another attempt April 27th, 2022.
Yeah.
So now we're like years kind of past the expected time.
Plymouth 402.
Yes.
You know, like the whole celebration.
I know. Can you believe that? To this
Yes.
day, it's like, oh my God, of course this all happened. There was an issue with, on the second attempt, with the charging circuit of the generator batteries.
Okay.
Very official.
It sounds important.
So that recalled it back to its home, you could say.
The first Plymouth.
The first Plymouth, and it didn't actually set sail. Oh my gosh, is this until like 2022 in April? No, that was the second attempt. Why did this write so weird? It was like 2023 by the time it got here.
Really?
No, it was 2022. But here's the thing about this.
She's like, I'm just going to make up more lies.
No. Here's the thing about this.
When it got here, it was self-aware.
Yeah.
It went full V'ger.
So I could not find any updates about it. It did end up landing in here. I believe it was April. So,
Okay, so
April 27th, departing from England, Virginia, blah, blah, blah.
looks like it landed June 30th.
There we go. So here's the thing. There's nothing else about it since then.
Actually, I found something.
What is it?
Okay, so I looked up the company. So apparently the company that made this is called Promare.
Yes, and it's IBM. It has, it's like
It's their thing.
yeah, it's funded by IBM.
Okay.
Yeah.
Crowdfunded, but also mostly funded by IBM.
Yeah, they are the
Says
crowd.
IBM. It says IBM on it. But
All right, so their next project, it looks like, is called Challenger 2025.
I'm already concerned.
No, not that Challenger.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I don't know where they're going to go with that, but
So after becoming the first autonomous ship to cross the Atlantic, they're now setting it up to follow the first ever research vessel.
Yeah.
The HMS Challenger from like 150-ish years ago.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it spent almost 4 years crossing, basically sailing for like 1,000 days, 68,000 miles. It was basically just an exploratory mission to get data. And now they're sending off the Mayflower
Yes,
to
there we
basically
go.
retrace its steps.
Thank you.
The theory is it will leave next year, but
So
it went so well last time.
also, I know like this mission was just to get them like across the sea.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but what did they get? Like, there wasn't like a lot of like, oh, this is what we found of this. Like, I was kind of interested in what
Like, what measurements were they taking while they're going?
Yeah, like,
Did they find any
like-
baby eels?
did
Yeah.
they do any of that? So that was my like, at the end of all of this and reading about this. Also, like, this thing is not going too fast. By the way, I meant to say this. It goes as fast as 10 knots, which is pretty.
I mean, that's not fast for a modern ship.
No,
But-
but it chugs along. And I was like, what did they find out?
Yeah.
And just getting it, like, every article I read was just same thing. If depending on at what point in its journey out, it was
Yeah.
like company planned to send out Mayflower autonomous ship. Company sending out autonomous ship. Autonomous ship
So
didn't
they-
make the travel.
So they were like talking about like just the fact that they did it, not like
Yeah.
anything else.
I think it was supposed to be like a test.
it was,
yeah.
and I'm annoyed by that.
but I mean, still, it's like one of those like
you
if
didn't
you're
like
gonna waste the time to
catch
test
anything
it,
while you were out
or
there?
at least put on like a thermometer to test the
Yeah.
water temperature as you're going. You know, like
or report, because I'm sure they did test water temperature, right? That's so easy. I'm
think
sure
so.
it's something they would need to know
yeah.
as it goes. I'm like, was there anything weird about it? Just tell us.
Yeah.
That's all I want to know. But I'm sure if for them it truly was just a test of the mechanics and the actual
It's like an
computer.
autonomous driving car that has less likelihood of hitting something.
Yeah, I wouldn't. They're probably like, okay, this held up good, this didn't.
They're
And
probably so mad that you're questioning. Like, does she have any idea how hard it was? We
I
threw
know.
it out into the largest portion of the world
Yeah.
that can get blown about, and it made it. The
Yeah.
Pilgrims couldn't even make it to the right spot.
Yeah, no, I meant to say I believe the first time it didn't go out, it was not mechanical. It was a storm or something.
Yeah.
They had to pull.
But let's just
pull it
recap.
back
The
for.
Pilgrims didn't plan to get here,
No.
and there were a lot of people on that boat.
Yeah.
And collectively, they couldn't make it to the right spot. And this autonomous / rowboat did it, and you're like, that's not good enough.
I want to know what's the deal. Tell us about what happened.
Okay, so it looks like Hui is also working, or Promary is also working with Woods Hole,
Yeah.
conducting ocean research. I don't know what the detail is, but this is one of those.
It's probably not good enough for
They,
Hanna.
and also, they probably haven't published
and
yet.
and they probably haven't. But I'm like, they're like the ship. I saw a picture of it docked in Plymouth Bay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
like
I'm like,
next to the Mayflower.
yes, but
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, how was the ship? Give us some sort of report.
Which is so funny because
It's
like
they,
I follow.
They can't get on it, Hannah. It doesn't have like.
no, like,
No,
give
I
me
know
a
what she's.
rundown.
I know what she's saying because like I follow a lot of like science educators that are constantly like, the James Webb Space Telescope found out this and like every day there's a different TikTok
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Like there's like it had to have collected some sort of data that you could have at least extrapolated something like, oh, this could be interesting, but more studies needed.
Yes.
Like those
Right.
it needs a TikTok.
Yeah, maybe it does. Maybe I should have looked on TikTok, honestly. That's where I got to go for everything now.
Check that out.
But it was cool, and I think you both might be surprised to know I had literally no idea this occurred.
it's been on the list for a long time.
No, I know. I've never looked into it.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, whatever, Robot Mayflower. I had no...
It's got an Instagram.
Does
Nice.
it? I was just gonna say what's
AI_Mayflower.
AI Mayflower.
So I had no clue this had happened, and also was just so disappointed to find out that I couldn't
Find out more.
I'm like, what is
What's
else
the name
is
of
it
the company
doing?
again?
Promare. Promare.
But it's a very cool thing. I like that it's been done. I appreciate the commitment to reusable energy for this function.
Yeah. They don't have a TikTok.
I think it's a great idea for the areas of the ocean we haven't seen yet. Climate change, very real thing.
Or just,
gotta get out there, microplastics, all that stuff. I think it's all a very good idea. As much as I've been flustered by reading the same thing over and over again. But anyway, I'm excited for its potential.
I know at one point they were even looking at like an autonomous vehicle to clean up the Pacific garbage.
Yeah. Which I hear so many different things about.
Okay.
Like I've heard, oh, you can walk on it, and then
you definitely can't walk on it.
Yes, and then I've heard like someone just be like, there's actually just such a I don't want to say collection, like it's not even that there's huge pieces of plastic, which there are. There's an area of the ocean that's just so not diluted, just like too like overly abundance of microplastics. Saturated with microplastics. I shouldn't even say the chunk, because I imagine the picture that I've seen online that's like kind of a plastic island out wherever,
right.
and I've heard so many different things from that.
So the one thing that I was hearing about they wanted to send an autonomous vehicle that would basically go and like
that makes the most sense.
Roomba it up until like they had to come back and dump stuff. But now the scientists are like, okay, so there's a whole new problem where animals are starting to make it their habitat.
Yeah.
Are we're gonna make things work? Like, almost that like we don't know what to do anymore.
How unfortunate.
Yeah. I mean, anytime you have water, there's gonna be like a spot that kind of collects the most crap.
Right.
I
remember seeing like back in the day on like probably Nat Geo or Discovery or something of people creating houseboats, but they would create their own rafts out of all recycled material. So it'd be like plastics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I wonder if they just like doubled down and like just adhered it all together.
You'd glue it all together. Just be like, this is Plastonia.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just mush all the microplastics. Eventually we'll get like a megaplastic.
Yeah.
I would hope. But anyway, I had never heard of it. Didn't know that happened. It was a blip in time that
I remember it happening and then never hearing about it again. And I guess there was nothing to really tell.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
I was like...
At the time, I'm like, this is so cool. We have a podcast. We can talk about... Put it on the list, Fish. Put it on the list.
Yeah. Anyway, it is still really cool. I'm glad it worked out. I'm glad they made the journey. I wish I just knew, even not for measurements of what they plan on taking, but success of the journey for them. Like, how is that measured in as far as like the boat? And it's like...
I feel like at this point, the fact that it got even remotely where you meant it to go, that's a huge success.
Yeah.
I can't imagine, like...
I feel like I have to follow it on Instagram and do a follow-up and be like, hey, so this is where the boat's at, because that's probably where they're... I mean, they can't officially publish anything, but
I like
they
how
can
Hannah's like,
everything.
They sent this autonomous boat across the ocean and it got in the right spot, and it's just not enough information, and she had a hard time finding the office.
Oh, my goodness. What's the Instagram called again? So we can shout them.
Let's all follow it.
AI
Mayflower? Was that what it was?
Yep. AI_.
No, I don't want to post.
That's a line.
A search.
_ Mayflower.
AI _.
I'm not a lot of followers. Plymouth 400 is one of them.
Hey, shout out to 400.
I mean,
Yeah.
2,500
Call
followers.
me Fish Boy and Creole Lady Marmalade both follow it. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I know those people.
Yeah, just started. Cool.
That was a cool looking. That's a really cool looking.
I
boat.
told
It
you
is a
it
cool
looks
looking
like
boat.
a Star Wars
It
ship.
definitely looks like a Star Wars ship.
Pretty neat, huh? It
Now
is-
I know where I'm going to go to steal photos for this
Yeah, right?
episode.
Very cool. Well, I'm
wow.
proud of it. Look at there's photos from its journey. It's like the Mars rover, like how you
Yeah.
can see like the front end of it.
There's
Yeah.
lots of guys and ladies. Also, I don't know who they are. I'm not going to take the time to read it. Yeah, this is a very cool thing.
Yeah. Despite
it
how
says IBM
disappointed I'm.
Mayflower 400. Yeah, no. It says
Yeah.
unmanned right on the side.
It's so cool.
Well, that way you can't try to kidnap the captain.
I am the autonomous ship now.
Yeah. Can't pirate something doesn't have a crew.
I think this
yeah.
is about where we stop talking.
Yes. I am thinking I'm the autonomous ship.
And thanks for checking out the show today, listeners. If you enjoyed the content today, you can go over to patreon.com/Inebri-art to support the show. You can join over there for just a few dollars a month and help us provide this fun content that you just checked out. You can also email us at Inebri-art.com with your questions, complaints, and concerns, or you can find us on all social medias at Inebri-art or at Inebri-art6 on Instagram. And also don't forget to check out our other shows, Bar Talk Podcast, Old Colony Cast, Inebri-art, and all the other shows on the Inebri-art Network, which you can find at Inebri-art.com. Thanks again for listening.